Hey guys, recently I did a video on the Pelican Movie Pen, and one of the things I had actually recorded and had planned on presenting to you was how it compares to, and to showcase as well, low-end Pelican brand fountain pens. So I had a whole bunch of Pelicans, about a half a dozen other Pelican pens, and I was going to show you them side by side, show you some of the features, and give you some writing samples of ones that I had inked up. So when I finally went to go produce the video, I went, that just makes this whole video way too long. So what I did was I cut it down to just the Pelican P22 movie pen, and I ditched the rest of the footage. So I got to thinking that why don't I just go ahead and show you the rest of the footage that I had to be able to see low-end Pelican pens, see what you might like, what you might not like, and would consider possibly adding to your own collection. I'm about to do the same with higher-end Pelican pens. So I figured let's just go ahead and show you the low-end ones. Before I put nib to paper, let me go ahead and show you some of its other contemporaries in the low-end Pelican pen market. This was my very first Pelican pen that I ever owned. This is the Twist, so-called because of the shape of, the triangular pen kind of twists as it goes up the barrel. Another student pen. This one is about a $15 pen or so. You can still find them online. And I got this one, and it's a nice little slip cap. Got the triangular grip, a real strong, big triangular grip too. So if you're not into triangular grip, you will not like this particular pen. But it fits my grip perfectly, because that's how I was taught to hold a pen from the very beginning. And the nib is actually fairly similar to what I showed you earlier. Got a little tiny little thing for a section that it goes into, but the section that you hold is actually big and chunky. This is the Blueberry, as I recall, and it does come or can use a standard international cartridge, which in this case I don't have any long standard international cartridges left, so I took the big one and I just flushed it out so that we can fill it with a syringe of any color my wife so desires. Like I said, this was my very first Pelican. I gave it to her because she wrote with it and liked it, so she's got one. My son Matthew has one in red, which I believe they call the apple, for apple color, so it's red on the outside and has green for that section. So this one obviously is not inked up. Here's another one, which is probably their most recent attempt at a low-end pen, about a $15 to $20 pen, somewhere in there, the Pelican Jazz Elegance. I gotta be honest with you, I was not real impressed with this particular pen. The Jazz Elegance to me was a great disappointment, because you have the Pelican name, but it was made in China, so I'm assuming that it was made for Pelican, not by Pelican. And it's all metal. On the surface, it actually looks pretty good. Smooth, chromed section with a very traditional style nib. It just, in my opinion, wrote horribly. It performed badly, so I didn't like it. I just could not deal with that particular pen. The Happy Pen, I think, is also still in production, if I remember correctly, but this is an all-plastic, oversized, chunky pen, which I kind of liked. It's got a nice little hole here for the cap if you like to put one on a lanyard, and you've got a very similar nib like you saw earlier. This one is inked, and I do believe I will show you how that one writes in comparison, so I'll set that one aside. This particular one is, I believe, from like the 1970s, the P120. It is a low end. It is all plastic in its construction, but a metal clip here, and you've got the Pelican logo on the top, slip cap, and you have a very fine looking nib. And this is semi-hooded, I guess would be the term for this one. I do have this one inked up, and I can show you this one on how that steel nib operates. The cap just fits a little loosely on that particular barrel, but not bad. I mean, I didn't pay a whole lot for that pen, and I was actually happy with its performance, and I use it actually fairly regularly. This is another one that's a fairly low-end pen of theirs. This is the M20. Not the upper end at all, but it still looks fairly elegant. You got the Pelican logo on top, and you've got a nice piston filler here, another slip cap. This one probably from the 60s and 70s, and you've got a very hooded or semi-hooded nib there, and a nice fine point to it. I do believe I also have this one inked up, and I will show you that one as well. And lastly, one of my all-time favorite Pelikan pens, upper or lower end, either one by the way, is the Pelican Go. I was very, very happy with how these wrote. I bought one, liked it an awful lot, and I saw this one for sale just because it was a different color. My wife didn't have one, so I picked it up. And then I said, okay, baby, do you want the one the reddish or the greenish looking? And she chose the reddish, so she's got it and absolutely loves it, which is the same one that I was in love with for a long time. And this one writes every bit as good. So the Pelican Go, I think, was a great investment for me. So let me go ahead and show you the movie pen, the P22. This, like I said, it's a steel nib, so this is the P22, a Pelican Movie pen. Alright, so this one seems to have a fine nib to it, or writes a little on the fine side. It's not quite medium. I don't remember if there were any markings on it or not, but it's definitely a steel nib. This is not the smoothest nib in the world, and it's acceptable. What I will say is it's reliable. And just a hair on the scratchy side. Some feedback when you write with it, but it's very acceptable. I've been using this a lot. It sat on my desk for a bunch of days along with two other pens that I've been alternating through these all week long. So don't expect a lot of line variation, although you can get some. But, you know, this is a nice pen. Student pen. But it is definitely reliable. Every time I picked it up and went to write with it, it was good. So if you're looking for quality, a good solid writer, go ahead and you know, check into the P22 or the Pelican Movie pen. And what I did like about this, the movie pen comes in all kinds of different designs. Basically, they put all kinds of different colors, shapes, and designs on their pens. This one in particular just happens to be some of the great artists. And if I line up that cap right there with this going down towards Auguste, I know that their artwork is going to kind of line up on the top and the bottom. So I'll get you some good close-up pictures of that, although I think the camera does a pretty good job of picking up the artwork there. So let's go ahead and show you some of these others. Like I showed you the M20 earlier, which is this one. So this is the M20, which is a nice, smooth writer, and you got a lot of flex to it. I don't think it was made to be a flex pen, but it is definitely a pen that a nib that can flex well. It's a wet writer, and it's been reliable. It's a piston filler, but it's a good pen. I mean, I would have no problem recommending this to anybody. And what did I put inside this pen? Let me look at my little chart here. I put in some diamine. Royal blue. So you know what color you're looking at. And like I said on this one here, I didn't share with you just now, but it was an old Omos cartridge. So it's an Omos blue in this particular pen. One of my favorites, period. So that nib is just a little bit different than the others, but this is a Pelican Go. This one has been a pleasure to use. Very smooth. Reliable. Piston filler. Great nib. I'm quite happy with the Pelican Go. I have, let's see, I put in some, what did I put into the Pelican Go? You know what? I don't know what I put into this for ink, because what I have written down here on my Pelican Go, Diamine Sargasso C. Like I said, one of my favorite Pelicans, upper or lower end, doesn't matter. So this one here, the P120. This one here, though it's reliable, it writes first time every time. This one is rather scratchy. It's got a fine to X fine nib. It is a steel nib. And this one, like the look and feel of this nib is it's pointier and is a little scratchier compared to anything else that I've got. But it is overall, I'd say it's a good pen just because it is a quality built, and like I said, it's very reliable. So I put into this one some Noodler's Marine Green. I cannot complain about this because as far as its scratchiness, it's acceptable. I haven't done anything to the nib to try to improve it at all, but it's been a reliable writer. And this last one here I wanted to share with you is the Pelican Happy pen. Alright, this one just has a cartridge in it. Because like the others that I showed you, I was only able to get a cartridge to work in it. And this is a black ink. But it's been reliable. I mean, this particular pen I haven't pulled out and written with it in months. And I pulled it out just before this video. And went to, just to make sure it still wrote before I even showed it to you. And it did great. So there you go. Those are some of my low-end Pelican pens.
Hey, it's Troy here. I want to take a real quick minute to do a couple of things. Number one is to thank you. Thank you for watching my channel and my videos and helping the channel to grow. And speaking of helping it grow, I would greatly appreciate if you would just hit the subscribe button. If you're not already a subscriber to this channel, that'll help me to keep content coming to you here on YouTube. Also, if you want to help this channel continue to thrive and get the word out, I have some t-shirts, fountainpenfanatic.com, which is a URL to this channel. T-shirts available for you at about the lowest price that I can possibly charge for them with the manufacturer that I'm using. That'll get you a great quality t-shirt and will help get the word out about this particular channel. And also discount codes. Look in the video description all the time for on every video for a discount code to go purchase pens at a marked discount for you, simply for being a viewer and subscriber to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the kind words and the feedback that I get from you, my viewers.